Thank you. Thank you for joining again. Thank you very much for being here. Our objective today, of course, guided lang naman ako ng mga questions na natatanggap ko, mga inquiries. And ang galing very dynamic. And what I noticed, everyone wants to push, further. Parang ano pa pwede gawin, ano pwede gawin. Mga iba ganun Which is great, okay naman. Ibig sabihin, di ba, we're thinking. I'd be interested to know your questions. That'll be definitely an important thing para something to improve on sa mga information na alam ko. Yeah, we will be discussing about personal monitoring individually and as a system. I'd like to talk about yung options nyo, what you can do, and ano yung unti-unti. Kasi minsan naman, we can't go, straight right away dun sa mga expensive solutions, di ba? So, just to give you a background of what to expect in this talk, so we'll discuss what personal monitoring is, di ba, and how it came about. I hope I get to do that. Yung advantages nun, definitely kailangan nyo malaman yung advantages nun. Then yung options and considerations, what do you need, how to use it, stuff like that. And then lastly, how things come together. Para makita nyo, may konting schematic lang naman ako para may idea kayo of what to do. So let's start. I guess everyone's familiar with stage monitors, very typical stage monitors. And, it's not a new thing. It's an old thing. Ginagawa na yan since the mid-60s or so. People realized na iharap nila sa kanila yung speaker. Okay mas naririnig nila sarili na kaysa yung narinig nila yung, bagay, parang reverberant sound of the venue, ganun diba? So, dati pa naman yan. And as soon as some realized na parang, facing speakers to them where it helps them a lot, then that's how that revolution of having stage monitors came to be. From what I read, historically, minsan nauna pa nga ang side fills than wedges. One of the innovators of the wedge was McCune Sound. McCune Sound, which is nung engineer nung time na yun doon was John Mayer, which is, may gawa ng Mayer ngayon. Anyway, wala lang, just a bit of info. Everyone knows about monitors. Okay yan, we always see it. It's recognizable. Advantage, naririnig mo sarili mo. But other than that, it has probably more, a bit more disadvantages than advantages. But we live with it, diba? Such as, it being the primary source of feedback. Unless, you could tune it so well, you could take care of it, you could tune it, tetay mo yung feedback, and yet concerned ka rin doon sa quality ng sound quality ng mismo monitors, di ba? Doon, inaano yan, kailangan alagaan. So, it is the primary source of feedback on stage. It takes so much space on stage, and minsan pag maliit yung stage, siya pa yung stage clutter. It's part of the stage clutter dahil, bulky rin, most of the monitors are bulky. And it adds to the noise on the stage. We're not even talking about yung noise na lumalabas, nagsispill towards the audience minsan, lalo na pag low ceiling, but it adds to the noise doon sa stage mismo. And with that, of course, yung hearing natin, yung mga musikero or singers, whatever, it dagdag na challenge yun. That's why IEMs are so personal monitoring systems to be able to control yung monitoring mo personally. Kasi the time between sasabihin mo, hinaan mo to, kung pwede masyadong malakas and all that. Bago mangyari yun, parang nakalipas na Diba? How many times have we seen an artist sinasenyasan yung stage man, parang stage man, senyasan yung FOH guy, and FOH guy, buti kung nakatingin sila. Alam mo yun, the whole process is so hard to have a personal control on your monitors, be it wedges, be it NIMs. Ayos yan. Nababawasan chaos on stage. So the challenge we're discussing here is about keeping the noise down and keeping it under control. Because for musicians and for singers, when we hear better, we play better. Yun yung phrase na yan, nakita ko yan dati and just stuck. Ganun lang yun When we hear better, we play better. Yun talaga. It practically encapsulates the whole idea. And for the text, as long as the band is happy playing, diba, as long as the band is tight sa pagtutugtog nila, mas madali sa ating trabaho yun. Ultimately, we just have to bring it out. Yung tightness nila, ilalabas na lang natin. So, yeah, we have to give really more effort in doing monitors. Because, yun na nga yun, hindi pwedeng, hindi natin, monitors, yung performance sa monitors natin, how the artists, kung hindi masaya yung mga tao on stage, lalabas yun sa FOH yun eh. So, we have to take care of that first bago yung FOH. We can't make the FOH sound good kung masama yung essentially yung source natin. Okay. And for ultimately for rental companies, what it does, kung maganda yung performance, hey, we get paid. For churches naman, of course, not only is the word of God, but yung yung music ministry, yung music, yung singing is part of the whole worship. So as long as we get everything organized, lahat maayos on stage, yung music ministry natin, then the more effective yung pag-spread natin ng word of the Lord. So, yeah, ganun ka-importante yan. So personal monitoring can be done in different ways. Even if ngayon na meron tayong mga wedge monitors on stage, di ba? We could add a bit of control, and that itself will already help the musicians on stage to perform better. Parang ako, I want to say na parang lahat naman may steps eh. Hindi naman kailangan we jump onto something right away. There's always a economic consideration. So, but we could always do it gradually. So for those who do have wedges, you're still in wedges, the first thing that you could give is control. At the simplest, volume control. So yung volume control can be, ideally, yung mga ibang may wedge mga powered speaker, pero it's very awkward kung aabutin pa ng musikero yung volume sa likod para lang hinaan yan, or may utusan pa siya para hinaan. It doesn't work. So at the simplest, you could give them access to control. You could have, there's a number of solutions out there, but if you could, give them, even a passive solution to control lang their, it's big, madali abutin, hinaan yung monitors nila to the level that they're comfortable with, that's already a big thing. Malaking bagay yan for the musicians. And for those who are using the, digital mixers, yung maganda sa digital mixers ngayon, they've got apps, and pwede mo nang i-share sa kanila yung control. Always remember, use the access limits feature of your digital console, di ba? The access limits is like, ang pwede lang nila galawin, shall we say, levels, or you could just give them one fader. So at least gagamitin nila yung device nila, yung phone nila, download the app, at least yung fader lang nila yung gagamit. Yun lang, binigay mo. If you want a bit more, sige, vocals and, group vocals, lead vocals, yung the rest of the vocals, and just a general instrumentation, di ba? At least yung magamit mo yung app. Give them time to learn it, to understand it. I think it will help them, and it will help you, the one doing the sound, kasi nga it's a job na medyo may katulong ka na, or even it's a job na hindi mo na kailangan gawin dahil some are very techy and they get it and they'll do it themselves. De ayos na, di ba? So, it's pretty, some apps even allow for maintaining presets. So if your musikero very rin naman siya, he totally gets it. He could set presets already during sound check pa lang, magsaset na siya ng presets. Ayaw niya pahinga. Sino yung ayaw niya marinig? Sino yung gusto niya marinig in this song? Sino yung the levels na gusto niya, whatever. Tayo usually mga techs, especially with the digital consoles, we want total control. But again, giving someone control also naman is a good thing also. Importante lang maintindihan nila. Yung konti-konting nababawasan na trabaho sa atin is more time for us to focus on something else to make the sound better. So ayos na rin, di ba?